Last weekend, I was standing on the line with a Glock I trusted like a damn religion, and I got that dead, empty click that makes everybody's head turn. Not a speech, not an excuse, just that quiet pause where you realize you might be the idiot today. I cleared it, finished the drill, acted calm. Inside, I stayed hot. Because Glock reliable means nothing if you pick the wrong one for the way you actually live. So this list stays simple. Which Glocks keep running when the gun's dry, the mags are filthy, the ammo's a mixed trash pile, and your grip gets lazy because you're tired and rushing. No fluff, no worship, same weekend, same drills, same mess, model against model. And yeah, the last one on this list fixed a problem I kept pretending wasn't real. I hated that. Last month, I was driving back from a late-night job in Odessa. 2:17 a.m. Pitch black on Highway 385. A truck rode my tail with brights on. I slowed down. He got closer, then drifted like he tried to run me off the road. I pulled over on the shoulder, heart hammering. As soon as I stepped out, two guys got out yelling. One had something in his hand that caught the moonlight. My brain stalled. Maybe it's nothing, while my hand went to the Glock 17 Gen 5 in the door panel. Dusty, not cleaned in weeks, carried daily through West Texas sand and oil field grit, baking in a hot truck full of fine dust. I drew and worried the slide lock would be sticky like it gets after 4,000 plus rounds when it's dirty. Then the first round went off clean. Second, third. The sound cracked across the empty highway like thunder. They froze, scrambled back into the truck, and took off. That night, the 17 ran exactly like it needed to. When everything was on the line, I used to think it was too big and too tactical for everyday carry in Texas. I was wrong. Now, every reholster, I feel that slide lock in my head, and I keep wondering what happens tonight when they don't run at all. Early last spring, I was down in San Antonio with my wife's family for her niece's birthday party. Backyard deal, kids everywhere, music thumping, food frying, people coming and going, sticky Texas heat. Jeans feel like punishment. So shorts, a t-shirt, and the Glock 42 deep in a pocket holster. I never trusted that little point. 380. I treated it like better than nothing, cute, soft shooting, easy to hide, still tiny. Then my brother-in-law's dog went after the smaller kid near the fence. It wasn't playing. The sound changed, music and laughing to screaming, chairs scraping, people running, somebody yelling the kid's name. That yard turned chaotic in maybe 2 seconds. I moved to get between them, yelling for someone to grab the kid, and my hand went straight to that Glock. The draw was ugly. Thumbs slipped. Hands greasy from barbecue. And I thought, this thing fails me right now, but it came out clean. I fired one warning shot into the dirt, and the dog broke off instantly. No click, no stoppage, just bang. I stood there, heart pounding, everybody shaken, looking down at that 42 like I'd been unfair. Around $400 to $500, it made sense. Still, that tiny grip felt floaty. What if the dog didn't back off after one shot? What came after that was supposed to be the grown-up answer, and it still found a way to make me look stupid. The Glock 43 XMOS never gave me a malfunction. That's the problem. I carried it for months, while ignoring one thing I didn't want to admit. I never loved how it felt in my hand. That was the weird part. It concealed easy. It carried light. It never quit. Every quick range stop, every dusty magazine, every rushed practice session, it kept going. On paper, it did exactly what a reliable carry pistol did. But the same little discomfort stayed there. The narrow grip, the way my hand never fully settled. I could feel it even when nothing bad happened, especially when I rushed. Timer on, sloppy draw, and my grip did that tiny slide. Like the gun wasn't in the same place twice. The pistol ran. The shot still felt wrong. Not because it jammed, because I had to manage it. That's the part people skip. I trusted the gun mechanically more than I trusted my connection to it. The 43 XMOS disappeared on the belt, but it never quite disappeared in my hand. So yeah, it never gave me a clean excuse to dump it. It just kept being reliable, while I kept asking whether reliability alone was enough. What came after that was supposed to be the grown-up answer, and it still found a way to make me look stupid. Honestly, I had a Glock 45 MOS. I trusted almost too easy. Early this year, it rode with me on boring range days. Cold morning, cheap coffee in the cup holder, a couple boxes of mixed ammo, and that pistol acted like it had no opinion about anything. Dirty? It ran. Dry? It ran. Different mags? It ran. The kind of boring that makes you start believing your own bullshit. So I got lazy with it. I stopped checking little things. Stopped noticing wear. Stopped paying attention to the optic screws. The holster rubbing the same spot every day. The trigger starting to feel just a little different after enough reps. Not bad, just different. And I ignored it because the gun kept covering for me. Then one afternoon, nothing dramatic, no emergency. I'm on the line with two guys I just told out loud, this thing never gives me trouble. And right on cue, it gave me a tiny problem. Not a catastrophic failure. Just enough of a hiccup that I had to stop, look down, fiddle with my own gear like a newbie, and feel that heat crawl up my neck, while both of them watched me eat my words. That embarrassment hit harder than a full stoppage. The Glocks stayed dependable. The ugly part was me, because a pistol that runs through everything also lets you build stupid habits, and those habits sit right there in the open when you run your mouth. Optic screws, holster wear, trigger feel, the little stuff I stopped respecting. Blood ran down my thumb from the slide release on a Glock 19X. Not a lot, just enough to piss me off and make it real. Back in February, I was out near Bracketville, way down in South Texas, helping a buddy check fence lines on his ranch before deer season. Cold, damp morning. Wind cutting right through my jacket. I had the 19X on my hip because it felt like the perfect mix. Glock tough, with that coyote tan finish that doesn't scream tactical. We cut through thick bruche and kicked up a big feral hog. It came out snarling and headed straight for my buddy, about 15 yards away. I drew fast, and my foot slipped on wet Kalache mud. For one ugly heartbeat, the gun felt like it was sliding in my hand, and I thought, if this thing malfunctions right now, we're both in trouble. I got 2 rounds off. The first one hit. The second one, I'm not even sure. The hog veered but didn't go down clean. My buddy finished it. The whole thing was over in maybe 8 seconds. But those 8 seconds stretched. The 19X ran with mud on my hands and panic in my chest. That tan slide and that grip texture mattered. But that slide release dug hard into my thumb. Hard enough it bled. It didn't stop me. It just stayed with me. The hog wasn't what stayed with me. The control lever did. And the next pistol made that problem impossible to ignore. A few years back, I ran security for a friend's place out near the Sabine River after some serious thefts. One night, we rolled up and the shop was already breached. 2 guys inside, like they owned it. I had a Glock 20 Gen 5. My partner had a really good Glock 19 Gen 5. We stepped in, and it went from quiet to violent in one breath. One of them snapped around with something in his hand, and my body moved before my brain finished the thought. I fired the 20 twice. In the dark, that recoil felt like a sledgehammer hitting my wrists. The gun tried to climb out of my hands on shot 2, and my grip got loud. White knuckles, shaking, fighting the front sight back down. Across from me, my partner's 19 looked unfair. Smooth, fast, clean shots, quick recovery. For a split second, I hated how easy that 9mm looked, while my 10mm punished me. Then, the third round left the 20, and it hit with authority. The guy dropped what he was holding, and the whole thing ended right there. The 20 didn't flinch once, even eating heavy 10mm loads under pure stress. That's why people called it a tank. Still, I can't forget what that recoil cost me. My hands didn't shake because I was scared. They shook because that gun hit back hard enough I almost fumbled my next move. And I still don't know what happens if that fight lasts 10 more seconds. Humid Friday night outside a small truck stop near I-20 in East Texas. I just fueled up when 3 guys jumped a lone woman in the lot. One had a knife, another dragged her toward their car. I wasn't out there trying to be a hero. Then she screamed and my body moved. I drew the Glock 19 Gen 5 I carried every single day. The first guy turned on me fast, and the whole place lit up. Shots cracked. Not just mine. One of them had a gun, too. In the first 2 seconds, everything went sideways. My first shot broke. On the second, My grip went slick from the humidity and adrenaline sweat, and the gun felt like it shifted in my hand. For one sick heartbeat, I waited for the sound that ends you. Dead click. It didn't. That 19 Gen 5 kept running while chaos lived everywhere. Muzzle flashes, people diving behind pumps, glass breaking. I stayed in it, moving, breathing hard, taking fire, feeding it rounds. It ate everyone. No stutter. I ran a lot of brands. In 2026, I trusted that Glock more than anything with another logo on it. But it still got ugly. The slide got so hot, it burned the hell out of my hand when a piece of clothing got sucked near the ejection port, and I had to clear it. That split-second pain stole time I didn't have. That's what keeps me up, because if they didn't break and run when they did, I don't know if I stood here telling this. That's it. Most reliable doesn't mean your Glock ran fine on a clean bench with nice ammo and a slow trigger press. It means it stayed boring when your hands got slick, your reload hit dirt, and you had to send rounds right now without thinking. Some of these earned that in a way that made me shut up. A couple still annoyed me, because reliability doesn't erase a bad fit, a dumb carry compromise, or that one thing that nags at you every time you holster. So tell me straight. Which Glock never lied to you, and which one embarrassed you so bad, you stopped bringing it up? Don't sanitize it. I'm Steve. I still wait on the first lie from the one I trust most.